Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by ibranson.com, where you can find lots of information about Branson shows and attractions. So if you're looking for the latest schedules, go to ibranson.com. You know, earlier this year we announced that we are now on the vacation channel. So if you're in Branson, that's channel 6 on Optimum Cable, or 36-1 if you watch via digital antenna. Our episodes now drop on Monday and air each night at 8 p.m. So the newest episodes you can always find at 8 p.m. You can also find us on social media or our website at playbranson.com. Our guest this week is Tony Turner with Pierce Arrow Country and Decades. And so we're looking forward to talking to him. It's been about 5 years since he's been on the show. So we'll be right back with more PlayBranson.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need ibranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at ibranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. ibranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson. And on today's show, we have Tony Turner with Pierce Arrow. And it's been 5 years since you've been on the show.
Yeah.
And so last time you were on the show, I actually called you by the wrong name, and we left that in the episode, believe it or not.
We did, because it was funny.
Yeah. So
James was on with us, though.
That's right, yeah. James. And we actually shot that at the Mansion Theater, and we did just a few episodes up there, but you guys were one of the episodes. So a lot has happened in 5 years, but we always like to go back on this show and talk about your history. But even before we do that, we need to let people know that you are a performer in the Pierce Arrow shows, because you have the Pierce Arrow Decades and you have Pierce Arrow Country.
Correct.
But even before that, you have a long history in this business. So let's tell the audience about that.
Well, I got roped into this when I was 6 years old. My family had a Southern Gospel touring group. And so we sang Southern Gospel Bluegrass most of the time, just all over the Midwest, and then it became a nationwide thing. And then me and my brothers broke away when I was 12 and started doing gospel rock.
Rock.
Yeah, we toured the U.S. We played with like Russ Taff and Rick Kua, and we opened for Carmen, and then it started to be like Striper and White Lion, and so that was really fun.
What can you tell us the name of that band, or did you?
It was Tusk.
Tusk, okay.
Yeah. So, and it started out as a Christian band, and then we found out there was a lot of hypocrite, period. And I could go into it, but it's not worth it. Because, a lot of these people are good people. They were in a bad spot. And so we decided that it was better for us not to even toe that line. So we went and we started singing just regular rock and roll music, but it was uplifting, powerful music, and switched to that. Then started doing some touring overseas and came back here. And then I had a solo career, and I got signed with Sony in Germany and went over and toured Europe for a while, and then came back. And
now, how old were you when that kind of was happening?
When I was in Europe?
Yeah.
I was about 18 to 25.
So you're like a young guy living like kind of the rock and roll dream.
Yeah, we toured everywhere. It was pretty crazy. And then, came back and went to Vegas, performed out there, came to Branson, went back and forth between here and Vegas.
And so when you were in Vegas, were you doing a solo thing, part of another show, or what were you doing
Both.
in Vegas?
I had my own show for a little while, and I was with Greg Thompson Productions as well.
Right.
So I would do some of their shows, Laughlin and Reno, and back to Vegas. And so, just
and then
a little bit of everything. I did a little bit with Legends in Concert. I was Elvis for them for a couple shows, went out and did their stuff in Germany and came back. And that was a long time ago when I had nice hair.
So when you were in Vegas, what brought you back to Branson?
I had a really weird guy come up to us, and my brothers and I, they wanted us to do a rock show in Branson. And I was like, absolutely not. I grew up in Kansas, and we toured all through this area, and I know this is a country town. And during that time, that's all that played here was country.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, he gave me a money figure that was worth it. And so I wrote The Road to Rock from Vegas to Branson. And when we got here, we put it together in 2 weeks and opened.
And that was that at the Wild West
Yeah,
Theater?
we turned it. It was the Gaslighter at the time.
Okay.
But we had changed the whole face of the theater, so it was all rock stuff on the front, and the House of Rock. That's what we changed it to.
House of Rock.
Yeah, and so it was fun. It was a blast. We loved that. It was still a lot of talk about The Road to Rock. It was an original band that understood rock, and they were a good band, but they just didn't know where they came from. So the Angel of Rock came down and put them in the scenarios. So it's kind of like Quantum Leap meets, a Decade show. So the Angel of Rock put us back in the situation. So I became Elvis. I became the Beatles. I became Robert Plant. I became the Who, and I became Ozzy. I became,
Yeah.
we did everything all the way up to Nickelback and Maroon 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was what time frame was that?
That
Do you
was
remember?
2002 to 2007. That's when I was
Okay.
here.
Wow.
But that was crazy.
Yeah. No, what happened after that?
2007, let's see. I went out to Silver Dollar City for a year or two, and then I went to the 12 Irish Tenors, and then I was over there before it was King's Castle. It was Brandt's Variety Theater when I went there. And I was with them for like 8 years, and then I went over to Pierce Arrow.
Okay. So I mean, you've really sung a variety of different types of music.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think really to be hireable, you have to be versatile.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, with my background of bluegrass, it was easy for me to understand different styles. A lot of people don't think that bluegrass singers they think they're one-trick ponies, but you have to be able, even just in its own genre, to be able to sing different styles.
Yeah. Talk how you got to be a part of Pierce Arrow.
Luke Menard was leaving, actually, and I had just left the King's Castle, and he just called and said, "Hey, they're looking for a power tenor." And so I went over and auditioned, and next day they said, "Yeah, come in." So
Right.
they hired me on Saturday. I started the show on Monday.
Wow. So you had to. Did you already know all the
No, I didn't.
the songs?
I
or
didn't. Actually, after the show, Bobby Blackburn was the musical director at the time, and we finished the shows, and he said, "I have to tell you, you have the most beautiful tone I've ever heard, and you are the best songwriter I've ever met. Because you did not sing one right word, but it all made sense."
Folks, that's a great spot for us to stop. We'll be back in just a second. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We are here with Tony Turner, and he's been telling us a lot about his history in the entertainment business. And now we want to talk a lot about Pierce Arrow. And so you have 2 shows over there.
Yes.
Maybe we have some people watching, they have no clue what Pierce Arrow is. They don't know anything about your shows. So let's tell us, what do we got
Pierce
going?
Arrow came into the Pierce Arrow Theater in May 22nd of 2000. So this is their 23rd year. And primarily they were a country group, a quartet, that was signed with Warner Brothers. And then when they left Warner Brothers, then they still opened a show here in Branson. Country quartet, Alabama, Oak Ridge Boys style. And then when I joined the group, they were like, "Oh, we can do a lot more." So then we started doing a show called Decades in the afternoon, which was no country and no gospel. So it was just pop and rock, a 2-hour show in the afternoon. And then we did the country show, which was your normal Branson box show.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday Decades, and we're doing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday with the country show.
Right.
And we just opened these new shows, and I mean, it's a party atmosphere for Decades. From the time they walk in to the time they leave, it's just fun, it's memories. You're invited to sing and dance. I mean, we have people who are standing up and dancing in the aisles.
Really?
On the sides. People are screaming, they're singing, they're laughing. James Sibley is one of the funniest comedians I've ever met. And he's different for Branson too because he's a stand-up comic. And most of the people around here do characters. So they'll do different characters, and it's this, more of a regional comedy, where James, he wrote skits for Saturday Night Live, he's done different movies and different things, and so he's more of a stand-up comedian, something you would watch on TV than you actually would in person.
Now, he's in both shows.
He's in both shows.
Right? Okay, so in some essences, it's what I'd call, it is in some cases a traditional Branson show because it does have that comedy element in a lot of variety.
To a point, yeah. In the Decade show, it's more something you would see probably off Broadway, because it is not your normal Branson style music, and it's not your normal Branson layout of music.
Okay.
And
what decades is it going to include, and what
we do from the 50s to the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
Actually, we have a Brian McKnight song in this year, Back at One, that Michael Cole's singing, and he just kills it. It's fog all over the ground, and there's lights that flash in and out, and with his voice, it's just butter. So it's really
I like
nice.
that. It's just butter.
It is.
That's like a new term. Like, that's a good one, right? That's I like that.
That's good. Who doesn't like butter?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm doing Faithfully by Journey.
Oh, okay.
So that takes us into kind of the 80s, but we go all the way back. We do some Bobby Darin. We do Righteous Brothers. And then we have a big patriotic thing, which we normally don't do. And we do patriotic in every show, but we're doing basically one set for the Vietnam veterans. So it's music from their time era that they listened to when they were overseas. And so it's more specified for them. And the reaction when we're talking to them during the show too. You see tears in their eyes. We do an Animal song called We Gotta Get Out of This Place, and you see the memories just flooding back at them. It's just a really cool experience.
Let's talk about the country show.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on in that one.
It's crazy. We open with a Big and Rich medley. So it's a new flavor, but then we jump right back and we do, Oh Lonesome Me and Liza Jane and Baton Rouge. And so we actually have some Garth Brooks in the show this year. And what I really like about the country show this year is that it's just really fast paced. So the country shows we've had in the past are real wavy. So when you have a flow of a show, it goes up and down and up and down. This one kind of goes up and then down a little bit and then just shoots up to intermission. Then second half comes out big, drops down a little bit, and then just shoots up to the end of the show.
Okay.
So it's another party atmosphere thing.
Yeah. So if someone has seen the show before, I sometimes think there's a misconception that these shows always stay the same, but they change.
Yeah, these are completely different. So if you saw the show even last year, both of these shows are completely different. All the comedy's different. All the costuming's different. The songs are different. The flow of the show is different. And most people don't realize that the flow of the show really dictates what songs you choose. It dictates how your audience responds, how you want them to respond. It's everything from the lighting to costuming. Everything is just to get a reaction out of the audience.
Yeah. So Pierce Arrow just got an award. Can you tell us about this award?
We got the Seven Seals Award.
So tell us what that is.
It's they only give it out to they were the first ones to actually get it, but it's for the employers who employ the most patriotic and Christian organization in the region. And the Department of Defense came down and they actually awarded that to us. Obviously, the side of our building says that we stand for the flag and we kneel for the cross.
It's great having you back on the show. We're going to stop right here and we're going to wrap the show up here in just a minute.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're wrapping up the show today. Thanks for sticking around. Our guest on this episode was Tony Turner from the Pierce Arrow Show, Decades and Country. Tony, tell us once again, how can people find you?
We're at 3069 Shepherd of the Hills Expressway in Branson, Missouri. And you can come watch our shows. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is Decades at 8 o'clock. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is Country at 8 o'clock.
Awesome. So folks, be sure to catch those shows out, 2 different shows. And next week's show, folks, I want to let you know, for the first time ever, we have Colton Cooper on the show, one of Branson's young performers. And Colton performs at the Clay Cooper Theater and a variety of shows there. You're going to want to be sure to check us out on that episode. Folks, be sure to always like us on Facebook, YouTube. Check out our channel there. You can also find all of our past episodes at PlayBranson.com. So if you have a performer maybe you want to see, they might be on a past episode. Also, if you have a performer you'd like to see on the show, let us know. Go to our Facebook page, send us a message. We'll do our best to get them on a future episode. Now, here's the deal. You're thinking about coming to Branson. You need help planning your trip. Be sure to go to ibranson.com. Those folks can help you out. You can see show schedules, attractions, lodging, the whole bit, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'll see you next week on Play Branson.